The real meaning of as above, so below. A mystical tale. Once upon a time, in a distant land, there was a wise sage named Elias. He was a man of great wisdom who had dedicated his life to studying the fundamental laws of the universe. One day, a young man named Lucas came to Elias with a question. "Master, what is the true meaning of the phrase, as above, so below?" Elias smiled, looked up at the starry sky, and said, "Follow me, and I will show you." They walked to a tranquil lake in the middle of the forest. Elias pointed at the water and said, "Look into the lake. What do you see?" Lucas leaned forward and saw the sky reflected on the surface of the water. "I see the stars just like in the sky." Elias nodded. "Exactly. As above, so below. The universe is a reflection, from the vast to the minute, from the external world to the soul within each person." Lucas fell silent, contemplating the thought. Elias continued, "You see, the outer world you experience is merely a reflection of what lies within you. If your mind is filled with chaos, your life will be chaotic. If you cultivate positive thoughts, you will reap goodness." Lucas began to understand. "So if I want to change my life, I must start by changing myself from within." Elias smiled warmly. "Precisely. When you adjust your thoughts and emotions, the external world will change accordingly. That is the law." They continued walking through the forest, where tall trees stretched toward the sky, their roots deeply embedded in the earth. Elias pointed at a mighty oak tree and said, "This tree stands tall only because its roots run deep into the ground. Humans are the same. If we want to rise high, we must first establish a strong foundation within." Lucas nodded, realizing the profound lesson hidden in the simplicity of nature. From that day on, he began to observe the world around him with a new perspective. He learned to control his thoughts, nurture his soul, and gradually saw his life transform. Years later, Lucas became a wise teacher himself. When people asked him about the secret to harmony in life, he simply smiled and said, "Look into the lake, and you will understand." And so, the lesson of as above, so below continued to be passed down from generation to generation, a simple yet eternal truth of the universe. Vitruvian Man, the hidden meaning behind Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece. Have you ever wondered why Vitruvian Man, Leonardo da Vinci's famous drawing, is considered the ultimate symbol of perfection, connecting humanity with the universe? This is not just a simple sketch, but a fusion of science, mathematics, philosophy, and Renaissance artistry. Let's uncover the true meaning behind this masterpiece. What is the Vitruvian Man? The drawing was created around 1490, inspired by the book De Architectura by Roman architect Vitruvius. In his book, Vitruvius argued that a perfectly designed building should be based on human body proportions. Da Vinci, with his genius mind, expanded on this idea, not just applying it to architecture, but also illustrating the deep relationship between humans and the universe. The intersection of art and science. The Vitruvian Man is not just a visually appealing sketch, but also a scientific study of the human body. Da Vinci used mathematics to determine the ideal human proportions, combining a square, symbolizing order and stability, with a circle, representing infinity and the universe. This illustrates the concept of symmetry and perfect balance. For example, according to Da Vinci, the span of a person's outstretched arms is equal to their height. The navel is the center of the body when placed within the circle, while the square represents the mathematical harmony of human proportions. This is not just a discovery of body measurements, but also carries profound philosophical and cosmological significance. Symbolic meaning. The Vitruvian Man does more than reflect Da Vinci's knowledge of anatomy. It embodies profound philosophical ideas. Humans as the center of the universe. The drawing emphasizes the importance of human beings in nature, reflecting the Renaissance spirit of humanism. The balance between science and art. Leonardo da Vinci believed that art and science are inseparable. Every line in the drawing follows strict mathematical rules while maintaining stunning aesthetics. The perfection of creation. By studying human proportions, Da Vinci seemed to be deciphering the secret language of the universe, seeking the harmony that nature has bestowed upon us. The influence of Vitruvian Man. More than 500 years after its creation, the Vitruvian Man remains a symbol of knowledge and endless exploration. It appears in textbooks, architectural designs, currency, and logos of scientific organizations. This drawing is not just a piece of art, but a declaration of the connection between humans, mathematics, and the cosmos. Conclusion. The Vitruvian Man is more than just a drawing. It is a masterpiece that bridges art, science, and philosophy. It stands as a testament to Leonardo da Vinci's genius and serves as a reminder of the wonders of the human body. A seemingly simple sketch, yet containing an entire universe within. This is why the Vitruvian Man continues to captivate humanity to this day.
The Prophecy of Saint Malachy, a mysterious revelation about the popes. Throughout the history of Christianity, many prophecies have foretold the future of the Church, but few are as controversial and enigmatic as the prophecy of Saint Malachy. Believed to have emerged in the 12th century, this prophecy presents a cryptic list of popes from that time until the end of the world. But is this a precise prediction, or merely a legend designed to shake the faith of believers? Let us delve into the labyrinth of this prophecy to uncover the hidden truths within. Who was Saint Malachy? Saint Malachy, 1094-1148, was the Archbishop of Armagh, Ireland, renowned for his strict monastic life and the miracles attributed to him. It is said that in 1139, during a visit to Rome, Malachy experienced a strange vision of all the future popes, from Pope Celestine II, who reigned from 1143 to 1144, to the final pope. He then wrote down a list of 112 short phrases, each representing a pope. Mysterious predictions and astonishing coincidences. Saint Malachy's list does not explicitly state the names of the popes, but rather provides concise phrases describing them. Strangely, many of these descriptions eerily match the characteristics or circumstances of later popes. For instance, Pastor Angelicus, angelic shepherd, believed to refer to Pope Pius XIII, 1939-1958, who was known for his piety and diplomatic efforts during World War II. De Medietate Lunae, from the half of the moon, refers to Pope John Paul I, 1978, whose papacy lasted only 33 days, the length of a lunar cycle. Gloria Olivae, the glory of the olive, related to Pope Benedict XVI, who belonged to the Benedictine order, symbolized by the olive tree. These coincidences have led many to believe that Saint Malachy's prophecy is genuinely accurate, though some scholars question its authenticity. Petrus Romanus, the last pope. The most striking aspect of this list is the final pope, Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman. According to the prophecy, he will lead the Church through a period of great persecution before the city of seven hills, Rome, is destroyed, and the Lord judges his people. This strongly implies the end of times. The current pope, Francis, is not explicitly labeled as Petrus Romanus, but since he is the 266th pope, and St. Malachi's list only contains 112 popes. Many speculate that he might be the last pope or signify a new era for the Church. Truth or mere legend? Despite its allure, many scholars doubt the authenticity of this prophecy. The list did not become publicly known until 1595, over 400 years after St. Malachi's death. Some believe it was fabricated in the 16th century for political purposes during a papal election. Moreover, the descriptions of popes before the 16th century appear surprisingly accurate, while those after are more vague and open to broad interpretation. This raises suspicions that the earlier part was written after the events had occurred, while the latter section was intentionally ambiguous. What does this prophecy mean for us? Whether true or not, St. Malachi's prophecy remains one of the most fascinating mysteries in the history of the Catholic Church. It provokes deep reflection on the Church's future, the challenges ahead, and whether the end of times is truly approaching as predicted. Perhaps instead of fearing it as a doomsday prophecy, we should view it as a reminder of the ever-changing world and the importance of faith during the most difficult times. What do you think? Are we living in the final days of the Church as prophesied, or is this merely a legend passed down through time? Share your thoughts.
The mysterious book that explains what happens when we die. On a small street, hidden deep within the heart of London, there was an old bookstore named Mortis et Veritas, meaning death and truth. Few knew about this place, and those who had set foot inside all felt an eerie atmosphere, as if an invisible force was watching them. One cold, rainy day, Thomas Elric, a theologian and philosopher, stumbled upon this bookstore. He was searching for materials for his new book when an old man, frail and with deep, piercing eyes that seemed to look into one's soul, approached him. "You've come here seeking the truth, haven't you?" the old man rasped. Before Thomas could reply, the man placed a worn, leather-bound book in his hands. The title read, "Journey Through Death." The pages were yellowed, carrying the scent of time. But what made Thomas shudder was the inscription on the first page. "By opening this book, you shall witness the truth of the afterlife. But beware, for the truth may change your fate." The fateful chapters. That night in his quiet study, Thomas placed the book on his desk and began to read. The words did not just describe, but seemed to pull him into another world where death was no longer a mystery. The book revealed that immediately after death, every soul experiences 3 crucial stages. The final moment. When the soul leaves the body, the deceased can still perceive the physical world for a brief period before being drawn into the soul stream. The crossroads of fate. Here, the soul confronts its past actions. The righteous are guided towards a gateway of light, while the sinful are dragged into endless darkness. The ultimate choice. A special moment arises when the soul is given the option to either reincarnate or embark on a journey beyond the known afterlife. Each page of the book made Thomas not just read, but experience what the souls went through. He heard whispers echoing in his room, felt a presence behind him, and at times even caught glimpses of a shadow moving in the darkness. The warning. When he reached the final chapter, Thomas noticed something strange. The words were shifting. They no longer merely described the afterlife, but instead became a warning. You have seen too much. Your fate will now change. You must choose. At that moment, Thomas looked into the mirror across the room, but instead of his reflection, he saw a formless entity with glowing red eyes staring back at him. The candles in the room flickered out, and a voice emerged from the shadows. "You have